Hello, everyone. Welcome to Relationship Matters with EU God Knows. In today's video, we'll be exploring reasons why you should stop trying to impress him. Being a Christian youth leader for many years, this has afforded me the opportunity to interact with most ladies. Marriage is an important part of life, and many people are expected to enter into matrimony at some point in their lives. From my findings, when it comes to marriage, women seem to be more interested in tying the knot than men. Men are very reluctant to dive in quickly into marriage for obvious reasons, and they are very selective when it comes to marriage because they consider a lot of things. If you are wondering why it hasn't popped up the question yet, it might be because you're making one of these mistakes that can easily turn them off. Number one, being too fast and furious. Pushing too hard for a relationship to progress quickly is a major turn off for most men who like to take things slow and steady rather than rushing into marriage. If you are constantly pressurizing him and rushing him towards the altar, he is going to start feeling overwhelmed and suffocated. What men really want is a woman who is patient and understanding, someone who knows that relationship takes time to develop. If you want him to marry you, give him space to make that decision. Don't get too excited when you meet a man for the first time. Don't share all your problems with him. You shouldn't be telling him about the bills you owe, about your parents and the street you live. Don't talk about marriage or even the wedding on the first day, or even tell him how many children you want to have. All this will make him feel like he's setting up himself for trouble. Number two, playing the housewife game. Many women often try to impress their potential partners by trying to prove to them they are good housewife ahead of time. This has led many of them into making several mistakes, which most of the time automatically work against their wish. If as a lady you find yourself doing all the cooking in his house, washing his clothes, and doing all the shopping, or even moving into his house before marriage, just to prove your competence as a wife material in advance, you might just have devalued yourself in front of him, which unfortunately is not a guarantee he will marry you. Just because you are doing all that doesn't mean he will marry you. You might be used and dumped. Please, stop trying to act like a wife when you are not. Don't be so cheap. Men will only respect you if you respect yourself. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 and 6. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all thy heart. Lean not in your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him. He will direct your path." Please note, marriage is a lifetime commitment. You must seek for divine direction in order not to end up in regret, pains all your life. Every woman is beautiful. It just takes the right man to see it. You become extremely interesting to him when you don't devalue yourself trying to impress him by moving into his house before marriage. A good woman inspires a man. A brilliant woman interests him, and a beautiful woman fascinates him. Real men are attracted to confident women who knows their worth. Doing all these things before you're married could be an indicative sign that you are desperate and you don't know your worth. You could be used and dumped. Men are not children, and they don't need to be murdered. If a man wants you to be his wife, he has to put a ring on your finger. Number 3, having too much expectation but nothing to offer. Women with little or nothing to offer often have high expectations from men without considering what they have to offer in return. All they want is a man who can take care of them and give them everything they desire. The real question every woman needs to ask herself is, what has she got to offer aside merely cooking and taking care of the kids, which are of course good values. But this shouldn't be the only reason why a man would want to marry you. Women simply act as a burden. Many women simply act as a burden. They don't really contribute anything valuable to a relationship. And so, he sees no need to get married to you because he doesn't see the value you bring to his life. When a man finds value in you that he can't see in other women, it will be very difficult for him to leave you for someone else. A man wants a woman who can have a positive impact on his life. When you have a unique value, you will be confident knowing that you are an irreplaceable number. Number 4, being too clingy and needy. One of the most unattractive things to a man is a woman who is too needy and demanding. If you're always too close and dependent on him, he will start seeing you as a burden. Men want to be with women who are independent and self-sufficient. If you want him to marry you, give him some space and let him breathe. Being too needy doesn't just apply to your physical space or to the physical space, but also to your emotions. If you're always looking to him to make you happy, then you will be putting a lot of pressure on him. This will make him feel like he has to be there all the time. That is a lot of responsibilities on him. Instead, work on being emotionally independent. Give him a bit of breathing space. Don't always put him on a call all the time or expect him to be calling you all the time, or even pick up your calls instantly and also reply your messages immediately. One of the ways to show your independence is to have your own hobby and interests. This will give him space he needs to plan for the future as well as the marriage. And number 5, the last. Don't think your beauty is all it takes. Women often mistakenly think that their beauty is all it takes to catch a man and get him to marry them. Of course, this couldn't be further from the truth. Being physically attractive is a great start, but beyond beauty, there is so much more to a lasting relationship stroke marriage than just your look. Yes, men might be visual creatures, but that is not all they are looking for. If you want to get a man to marry you, you need to be just more than pretty face. You need to be smart, kind, and interesting, and someone he can see himself spending the rest of his life with. Men are not just looking for women who are beautiful, but they are looking for women who can make their world beautiful. It takes beauty to attract a man, but it takes character to keep him. If beauty was all that men are looking for, then every beautiful model in the world would have been married today. In fact, the main reason our parents got married to each other had little to do with their looks. Your dad saw the value and potentials in your mom. That was why he could afford to pick her out of the many women he saw. Your mom didn't dress with some fancy tight clothes or wear all the killer heels and just to attract your father. But your dad saw the potential in her, which is why he chose her. If you must be married, then you need to stand up and look beyond your beauty. Show yourself some worth. Focus on building yourself instead of trying to impress him. Then he will value you more and do everything it takes to have you as his wedded wife. Thank you for watching. If you love this video, please feel free to like, share and subscribe for more. God bless you.